Ja, danke für diesen guten Morgen. Thank you, Lord, for this good morning. Welcome on the morning of the second Sunday after Trinity. The verse of the week gives a wonderful invitation for all of us. Jesus says, "Come unto me, all that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." When I water the plants in our little front yard, people often hold paying compliments. What a beautiful garden! And we have to tell them what we've planted, like tomatoes, pepper, eggplant, cucumber, green squash, and spinach. We take care of all the plants, look after the soil, and we love to see how fruits are beginning to ripen. We are in the green season now in the church here, green for growth, both in the extension of the church and in our spiritual lives. Imagine people who meet you would pay compliments like, "What a gentle person, how gracious and loving, a blessing for others." Imagine you would tell them about the fruits in your garden of faith, like a good life, love, patience, justice, wisdom. With those fruits, we are well nourished to pursue a righteous life, a life of wonder, faith, steadiness, and courtesy. God is the gardener of our spiritual garden. He takes care for a good soil, fertilizing and watering the plants of faith, hope, and love. We are in the season of growth, along the Sundays after Trinity. What Jesus outlines in his Sermon on the Mount about a fruitful life is not just a wish list. It's the calendar of planting and harvesting in real Christian life. It has to be grown to show mercy, to become a peacemaker, to seek righteousness. In the last couple of weeks, we've been seeing growing protest and civil unrest across the country in the wake of George Floyd's killing. The voices calling to end police brutality and racial injustice grew louder and louder and were heard. The hourglass is flipped over by the burdens of our time. Our faith better fits the needs of the people, or it's put on the long shelf and made useless. The burdens of the COVID-19 pandemic and the days of protests were a challenge we haven't seen in our lifetime. Without a moment to relax, relief is desperately needed. It's as if the verse of the week was especially meant to be heard today. Jesus saying, "Are you tired, worn out, burned out? Come to me, get away with me, and you'll recover your life. I show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me, and you'll learn to live freely and lightly." This invitation goes to the exhausted healthcare workers as well as to the patient parents having kids at home and working remotely. It goes to the grocery store owners providing daily food, as well as to restaurant people preparing meals for takeouts. And it goes to the men and women in the uniform of NYPD. The public perception of being bad cops based on wrongdoings of a few has become a heavy burden. What they are looking for is to get through their 12-hour shifts doing the job they were enthusiastic to enroll in the police training. Seeing an NYPD patrol car, I read the 3 words on it: courtesy, professionalism, respect. In short, CPR. CPR stands for an emergency life-saving procedure. I hold this motto on the police cars still to be true: life-saving work and service. Life-saving, that's what God stands for. It's what Jesus lived and died for. It's what the church works for. It's what the mission of every Christian life is meant for. Today is a time to hear God's invitation for all burdened people to come and rest and lay down what they carry on their shoulders. It's a time to come and sit at God's table all together as the one family of God and efficiently take care of one another. I decided not to talk about Father's Day explicitly Even the role of fathers is described by Jesus generously inviting people at his table and talk about and remove the burdens of life. I think that's what family and friends and neighbors, communities and congregations stand for. Have a blessed second Sunday after Trinity and a happy Father's Day. I am Pastor Klaus Gress, Zion German Evangelical Lutheran Church. He's got the whole world in his hands.